This is a weekly video where we catch up with what's been happening with the price of gold and oil and the levels to look out for if you're trading these two in the days ahead. Hello, I'm David Jones from Capital.com and this is our weekly look at gold and oil. It's been a bit of a mixed week for one of these. Gold has been a little bit boring. We'll take a look at that in a second. But I think it's still interesting because the question is, after the big slide, is it starting to build a base? Oil, I think, is a lot more interesting because that trend that's been in place for over a year now has continued. But first of all, let's take a look at the price of gold and have a look at the big levels to watch out for. Here's the price of gold. It's been I'd say an inconclusive week so far. What do we have? We know that the trend is still down off those highs. So since early May, the price has dropped about $130 to where we are now. That downtrend comes in around about the 1270 area. We also have the old highs from earlier in July at 1265. So 1265, 1270 is still the big barrier for any recoveries. And it needs to break through here to suggest that maybe this weakness is going away. But we do also have these old big levels around about the 1200 mark. Let me just scroll my chart back. Sort of going back to March 2017, July 2017, when gold was selling off, we did see buyers come in ahead of 1200. So I think even though it hasn't moved that much over the last week, it's still interesting because I think the question for gold is, are we seeing a base being built here? It's early days, but over the last week, it has managed to hold above this 1200 mark. So that's really the level to watch. You know, and as I say, not much has changed. Looking at the RSI, we went oversold in June. The market moved lower again. The RSI went oversold again, but we have this thing. Let me just zoom in on it. That's known as bullish divergence. When the market hits a low and moves lower still, but the RSI is actually making higher lows, it can be a sign that the weakness is running out of steam. So that does add to the argument of the potential for a base building here. But as I say, it's still early days. That trend is still down. Let's see what the next few weeks bring. So for me, it's all about these old 1200 lows. We've seen the price hold above that. They're important levels from 2017. It's early days, but let's see if it starts to turn around here. Now oil, I've been talking about this trend in oil for a few months now. It was $42 a barrel in the summer of last year. It's been above $73 this year. We've seen a bit of a sell-off, but it hasn't changed the bigger picture. That trend on oil is definitely still up. So let's take a look at the levels for this market. So here's our long-term oil chart, US crude oil, going back to July of last year. We shouldn't be surprised by the strength that we've seen over the last week and a half or so. That major trend is still up. We have big support that's been left here from the middle of June ahead of $63. The price has dipped down, or did dip down, the middle of July towards 66, but this trend line's held. So if this trend is going to continue, then the logical target is for a run back up to the $73 a barrel highs and beyond. So nothing's changed. It's done exactly what the textbooks would have you think it should do. Sold off towards the trend, buyers have come back in, and the market's moved up. It's only if we take out this trend line that's sitting about 66, and for me, these old lows at 63. So 63 to 66, big support for the price of oil. It's only if we start to roll below here does it start to look as if that 12-month trend is finally over. But at the time of recording, pushing up to the highs for the last week and a half, 2 weeks or so, and that trend just progressing as it should be. So oil has performed exactly how the textbooks would have you believe this stuff should work. You know, we've seen this trend go up, no market moves in a straight line, the market sold off for a bit, the buyers have come back in and lifted the price. The question is now, does it have enough momentum behind it to get up to those old highs up at $73? We'll see what the next few days brings. We'll start wrapping things up there, but as usual, if you have any questions or comments or a different view, just leave us a message in the comments down below. If you like the video, click on the thumbs up. It really helps us get it out to a wider audience. And to never miss out on the videos we upload. We normally do sort of 4 or 5 a week, looking at different markets and trading psychology, that sort of thing. Also, on a Wednesday lunchtime, I do a live market update via our YouTube channel from 12:30 Wednesday afternoon. So if you click on subscribe and click on the alarm bell icon, you get notified every time we upload a new video or go live. But for this week, for gold and oil, we'll leave it there. So from me, David Jones and Capital.com, I hope you have a good trading week.